Welcome to Guns and Gear Network, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in today. I want to bring you this video this afternoon about lasers and a little couple tricks that I've learned that I think I want to pass along to you guys. So, if you're having problems with your laser staying either zeroed or you can't get it zeroed, maybe you run out of adjustment or something like that, and you say, I don't have any adjustment left, so it's either all the way in, all the way out, whatever. Typically, you're going to get it all the way in. And you have no more adjustment. Well, that's what happened to me a few years back on a Crimson Trace laser that I had bought. It ran out of adjustment, and I was like, what in the world? This is Crimson Trace. They're known to be good. You know, I guess maybe I got a limit. So I called them, and I told them my problem, and they put me through to a customer service rep. And the nice gentleman on the phone said, take something and tap on the laser. So he said, take like a butt end of a screwdriver, you know, your pocket knife or whatever, and just lightly tap on it. So what I did was I went and lightly tapped on each side, just kind of tapped on it. Sure enough, the laser made an adjustment. It moved without me, you know, using the adjustment screw or anything. Just the tapping made it move. So then, when it moved in the direction that I needed to go, the opposite direction, to make the correct zero. So sure enough, I was able to zero it perfectly after that. So that got me thinking, what would have happened if I would have adjusted it and I had enough adjustment to make my zero? Would tapping it change that zero? Obviously it did when I tapped on it before. Let's just assume that it was correct and I tapped on it. Would it move? So that got me thinking, going forward with all lasers, and I don't know the internal workings of a laser, how they work and how, you know, what makes them adjust and everything. I don't really know that, but I do know this. So on this one, I tested my theory. So I put it on and I did a bench zero, and I'll tell you about a bench zero here in a minute, kind of how I started that and what I mean by that. So I made my bench zero. Sure enough, took my knife here, tapped on it. What do you know? It moved. So I went back and bench zeroed it again, took my knife, tapped on it. It moved just a little bit more. Made the adjustments again, tapped on it, no movement. It stayed exactly where I wanted it. So I tested that over a couple times. So I would check it again, through everything with the bench zero, tap on it, check it again, tap on it, check it again, no movement. So now I know that it's zeroed, at least bench zeroed, and then hold zero. So we'll go from there. But that's my point of this, is make sure you're tapping on these lasers, you know, and seeing if you have any shift after that. Because you don't want to get this thing zeroed and then you knock the rifle over, or just general bumping on it would cause it to shift. So you need to bump that shift out of it, or that shifting ability out of it, by tapping on it. So just a little trick there with that. Second thing is, I mentioned about a bench zero. What does that mean? Well, you're going to have backup sights of some sort. Now this particular pistol build has an A2 front sight and a rear removable sight. So what I normally do to just kind of get a general idea of hopefully being on paper and getting it close is I take my red dot and lollipop it on top of this front sight. I don't care if it's a flip up sight, A2 front sight, doesn't matter. Lollipop it on top of this. And what I mean by that is, you have your sight post and your red dot is sitting on top of it like that, kind of like a apple sitting on top of a fence post. Then I took this and did the same thing. I made sure that that green laser was sitting on top of that sight post. That'll get you started. That does not mean everything is zeroed whatsoever. We got to zero our iron sights first to make sure they're correct. Then make sure you can do this, but what you need to do is make sure it's confirmed. So once I get my iron sights dialed in, I'll go ahead and go back and make my adjustments and lollipop it all again, and then test every piece independently. So I'll check my iron sights, make sure they're done. I'll start with the lollipop method again with this, and then make adjustments otherwise to make sure that it's correct. And then I'll do the laser the same way. So each one is independently zeroed to make sure that they're all correct. And that's the method that I use to make sure that everything is correct. Occasionally you will get one that does not line up exact across the board. I don't know the reason for that, but that's just the way it is. I've had one do that in the past. Not sure why, but a lot of times they'll line up pretty close across the board, where you can look down and see one continuous sight from the iron sight through the red dot. The laser and everything will kind of be lined up perfectly in line. That works. Usually that's what you're going to see most of the time. Sometimes not. that's why you need to make sure you're doing it independently across the board with all of them. But anyway, guys, hope that helped you out. Be sure you're doing that tapping trick with your lasers and making sure that you're not getting any shift at all once you get everything zeroed. But anyway, guys, if you got any questions, post those below. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. That's always appreciated. It's over there down in that corner. Also, share our content. It's over there in that corner. That helps us get the word out about the videos that we produce and what we're doing over here at Guns and Gear Network, and that's always appreciated. As always, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Bring another video shortly. Have a great day.